I'm Reverend Keith Hagerman, the minister at Wesley United Church here in Cambridge. It's Good Friday. Today we were to be joined together as three congregations of the United Church here in Cambridge, Ontario, to worship together at Wesley United. This is an annual gathering where we gather strength from our togetherness and connect with each other as we hear the Good Friday story. It's also become a tradition to have a joint choir from all involved churches with music uplifting us. Instead, on this Good Friday, we gather in our individual homes. But as we self-isolate, we also connect with others through this worship time and draw strength through linking together in this way. May you be blessed in these reflections. This service is coming to you from Mount Hope Cemetery here in Cambridge, a place where many of you have known times of grief, burying loved ones. Perhaps it's also a place that you visit to remember and give thanks and connect with the spirits of those who have died. It's an appropriate place for a Good Friday service, for it acknowledges death in our lives and death in our world. Some of those deaths are physical deaths, but some are the deaths of hopes and dreams. Death is very much a human reality. Today I want to focus on one of the last words of Jesus cried out from the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" We find the words in Matthew 27, verse 46, where we hear it first of all in Aramaic, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, and then the translation, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" It also appears in Mark's Gospel in chapter 15, verse 34. And I've sometimes wondered why the Aramaic appears in this place but not in other places. But it's because of that word, Eli, Eli. And so the Eli, the L part, is the name of God, Elohim. And the Yah is also a name of God, Yahweh, Jehovah. And so this also connects to Elijah, who was supposed to be the promised one coming from God. Elijah, it says, my God is Yahweh. And so it's a name that's rooted in history, and Jesus is calling out to God using these names from the tradition. This is one of the 7 last words of Jesus. The 7 last words are 7 sayings from the cross which are scattered through the 4 Gospels, some appearing in only one Gospel while others appear many times across the Gospels. The other sayings from the cross include, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. And woman, here is your son, and here is your mother. And again, I thirst. And it is finished. And Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. But today we focus on those words, my God, why have you forsaken me? The words come from Psalm 22, from verse 1. For Jesus, these words are part of the sacred history, the history of the people of Israel, crying out to God. Over the weeks of Lent, we have been looking at the Psalms. They are unique among biblical literature, for they are our words to God. The book of Psalms is often called the prayer book of the Bible. They cry out to God, telling God what life is like. And so Psalm 22 is a psalm of lament, a prayer for deliverance, a cry for help. And so we see Jesus crying to God out of the depths of pain and suffering. My God, why have you forsaken me? A reading from Psalm 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. In you our ancestors trusted. They trusted and you delivered them. To you they cried and were saved. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. But I am a worm and not human, scorned by others and despised by the people. All who see me mock at me. They make mouths at me, they shake their heads. Commit your cause to the Lord. Let him deliver. Let him rescue the one in whom he delights. Yet it was you who took me from the womb. You kept me safe on my mother's breast. On you I was cast from my birth, and since my mother bore me, you have been my God. Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help. Many bulls encircle me, strong bulls of Bashan surround me. They open wide their mouths at me, like a ravening and roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted within my breast. My mouth is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue sticks to my jaws. You lay me in the dust of death. For dogs are all around me. A company of evildoers encircles me. My hands and feet have shriveled. I can count all my bones. They stare and gloat over me. They divide my clothes among them themselves, and for my clothing they cast lots. But you, O Lord, do not be far away. O my help, come quickly to my aid. Deliver my soul from the sword, my life from the power of the dog. Save me from the mouth of the lion. So we just heard from Psalm 22, and we know that Jesus only spoke the first verse, my God, why have you forsaken me? But that verse, in a way, captures the entire psalm, and certainly brings that to mind. In this psalm, we see Jesus crying out to God out of the depths of pain and suffering. And in this, we have a very human picture of Jesus, of frailty, of vulnerability, of calling to God out of the depths of despair, of his facing death, of his feeling heat and thirst, all those things that we know in human bodies, to the point that life is leaving his body. A very human Jesus. In this, we also see Jesus who is our brother, Jesus as one of us. In Jesus, we see God who feels our pain. In Jesus, our brother, we encounter God who knows what life is like for us, who knows what the Good Friday moments in our lives are like, the dead ends. When I think of these words, my God, why have you forsaken me? I think of all of the people who could utter the words of this song. A kid living on the streets, a person dying alone, a family unable to visit a loved one who is sick, a family in a refugee camp cramped together with only one bathroom for thousands of people, and now a life-threatening virus is galloping through the world. Person struggling with a messy divorce. A youth who's feeling rejected by everyone. A youth who is bullied. My God, why have you forsaken me? A child working 18 hours a day in a sweatshop. A youth stuck in a gang and unable to get out. A student who is bullied. A patient who is terminally ill. A worker who retired and then had a stroke. A child whose legs got blown off by a landmine. A person stuck in an abusive relationship. A child whose parents died in a war. An Indigenous person in Canada without access to clean water. A person without a job or a home. An individual laid off during the COVID-19 crisis, not sure if they will have a job when this is over, and worried about how they will pay their bills, and worried about losing their home. A worker forced to use chemical sprays with no protection. A drug addict trying to break the habit. My God, why have you forsaken me? A prisoner waiting for a visit from a chaplain. A single parent waiting in line at a food bank. A soldier wondering if he'll get home alive. a parent staying awake through the night with a sick child, a First Nations person feeling forgotten, any person living through the COVID-19 crisis. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me from the cry of my distress? And so we hear Jesus crying these words from the cross. And in this we also hear how we can cry out to God when we are weak and heavy laden, that we can share these things with the sacred presence that we are bold to call God. God weeps at love withheld, at strength misused, at children's innocence abused, and till we change the way we love, God weeps. God bleeds at anger's fist, at trust betrayed, at women battered and afraid, and till we change the way we win, God bleeds. God cries at hungry mouths, at running sores, at creatures dying without cause, and till we change the way we care, God cries. God waits for stones to melt, for peace to see, for hearts to hold each other's need, and till we understand the Christ, God waits.